Hello guys and welcome to the cash game session. After after a lot of time, we played the scoop. The scoop is finally over. We took a few days rest, made one video about pool analysis, and here we are in a live session. So let's go. Let's go. 7-10 queen. Basically, I think we want to have bigger size here in this spot because turn can change the action easily. So I think we want to be betting bigger. I think 2/3 is fine. We're gonna do also a decent amount of checking here in these positions with our Queen X. Table number 4, I'm just thinking, do I want to be blocking or actually just checking? I think check is the way to go. On the turn here, checking behind, I don't like it that much. Or do we want to be betting small? I think on this turn, where 7's paired, actually we want to be betting a lot, so I'm just gonna go half on the turn. Usually he shouldn't be having a lot of 7x, basically 6-7 suited and 7-8 suited against the size that I use are pretty much the only 7x hands that he's gonna have. Because we did 3-bet pretty small, so he's gonna call all of these hands. So we're going from 2 to 6.7s. He's gonna be calling basically all 6-7 suited hands, all pocket pairs. So on this board, when we bet bigger size, actually he should be folding pocket pairs. Yes, he should be mainly folding pocket pairs in this spot. So what is he calling with that quickly folds the turn? Maybe hand like an ace jack of clubs probably, or ace jack of hearts, something like that, because he quickly folded on a half pot and called a big bet on the turn, on the flop. So I guess it's something like that. 3-3-6, we're gonna be betting 1/3. Our ace king is a value bet, so we're betting for value here. On the turn we can go small again, or we can check behind. I think both is fine. He leads the turn, which is really doesn't have sense. This is his basically first donk on the sample that we have. I'm not sure what he's repping. He probably reps hand like a 9x, and we block ace 9 and king 9, which I think it's uh, basically important because most 9x that are floating will be like that. I mean, this guy probably floats hand like 8-9 or 7-9 on the 6-3-3. He doesn't fall to c-bet at all. And now we're just gonna be I'm gonna be turning here into bluff, I think. Yeah, I'm just gonna be jamming here. Blocking like ace 9 and king 9. He has 7-8, okay. So like I told you, he's gonna probably float all of these hands on the flop, 7-8 and donk it on the turn. Uh, I think like if I have a 9x, strong 9x, or if I had hand like aces and kings, I didn't raise the donk on the turn, I would be just jamming basically. So I'm just gonna be jamming with my ace king of clubs, um, because I think this type of players, I'm not sure if they're gonna fold 9x to a shove. Some of them won't, or some of them will. This type of players like 41, 14. Um, some of them will just fold hand like a 4-5 or 5-7, mainly to shove. Um, but I think, I mean, I feel it's okay with my ace king basically because I would play like this hand like ace nine or king nine. I would be just jamming in the river, and here we're gonna be raising it like this. He shouldn't be having ever like many ace x hands of so nuts. It's gonna be pretty hard for him to have because he should be three betting hand like ace jack off, ace queen off. So it's hard to call. This player will not ever call hand like a ace nine or ace ten off, and his three bet range is like 16% smaller versus button. I think it's 16, 14. 14%, and in this 14% we have some of the ace 10 and ace jack, all of it, and all of the ace queen. So he's gonna have generally trouble to have nuts in this situation, and we're just gonna be raising. Okay, pretty unfortunate. I mean, his donk on the turn looks so bluffy. But basically, I think basically I'm trying to fold him out of that 500 because he's gonna hit that five pretty often actually. If you think about it, because his bluffs will mostly be hand like a 5-7 or 4-5. I actually expected that he will be floating. He hit the king there on the river. I expected that he will be floating hand like 9x on the flop, and he actually floated 7-8. This is that guy here. Step turn bet river. I think our hand is decent. Um, Decent as a call actually. So let me see if we're gonna have other table ready because this guy will sit out. His line looks super bluffy, and when I go through pool analysis, this line is bluffy a lot when they're donking on this type of turns. Um, it looks bluffy, but with the ace king, actually, I want to just be calling there. There's no sense in raising ace king there because if he's bluffing, we want to let him bluff. But when that five hits on the river, it actually hits decent amount of his uh, bluffs, and then when he bets that small, I would be just always shoving the 9x actually because like I said, I expected, but uh, I expected that he can have hand like 7-8 because I thought he can have like 9x, 8-9, 7-9. So actually he can float 7-8. But generally, mainly, let's actually go one third here, block on the river. We're gonna have bunch of diamonds here, hands like king jack, king queen, jack 10. We just get called by everything basically. So okay. We got called by the two pair there, which I think I mean it's okay if he wants to call that hand. We just have bunch of diamonds, and I think this hand actually has sense to be bluffing. So 4-5 suited, we can sometimes go for it. Uh, I like to three bet these hands like 4-5, 5-6, 6-7. Even it's small blind versus the UTG. And when this guy calls, his UTG range will be around 8.7. He did call ace 8 suited, okay. So he's gonna probably be calling like fives plus in this spot. Um, and this guy actually doesn't have forward bluff range, like you see. And this guy will just have a call. He's gonna call ace queen off, like you see there. So that's like not that great, and he probably will be having even some king queen off against me. So this board will hit him harder than it should be hitting him because his queen off should be folded or forward bluffed. And now when we think about it, I think basically we want to be betting like this and wrapping like pocket jacks in this spot. but for sure we have to be betting. Like we are basically wrapping pocket jacks here, pocket jacks, pocket kings, and we would use this size actually. We wouldn't be like jamming or betting here. Ace five can go both ways in this situation. Really strong board for our range. This is like one of the bests. We're gonna be donking the flop. This is one of the best boards for our range actually in this position. So we're gonna be donking it. Let me just go back to the hand. Yes, I think basically we want to be using this size with our best check bet because hands like a pocket jack is gonna be betting the flop, checking the turn a lot. Some pocket kings will also be checking, some pocket aces will be checking, and when he checks behind, I think he kept himself to also a pair, and we're gonna hit this 10x actually pretty frequently. We're gonna be always betting hands like ace 10, king 10, jack 10 on the flop, and this 10 will hit us decently, and on the river we just bet a lot of 10x hands, so we would wrap hand like a pocket jacks, 10x, uh, then mm, occasionally we can also bet aces like that. I don't think there's a need for bigger size, but Solver will actually have all-in size also, and use it when it will use it with some bluffs because we're gonna have some queen X hands that check turn, bet flop check turn, and we're gonna jam those. And we're gonna get some bluffs. And our hand is actually bottom of our range, of our three betting range, and I'm thinking in which size I want to put it. Do I want to put it in like a normal size where I rep 10x and these like pocket jacks, some pocket kings, because a lot of pocket kings will also double barrel turn. So when we think of our value range, it still has a lot of value actually, and we have basically two sizes I think there, or even three. We can also have block size, like really because we're gonna have some pocket nines, some weaker 10x hands like 9-10. Think this type of hands wants to go to the block. So basically, I feel we're gonna have three sides there: block, two-thirds size, and shove size. And the shove size is gonna be really unfrequent. Okay, we're gonna go now with three bet in this spot. Okay, we have all the tables. It's just matter of um, like where you want to put your bluffs. It's really important in which size and which category of hands. Usually like the bottom of the range wants to go actually in the biggest size, alongside with like best blockers for what we are repping. But actually this time we we just use it into the normal size because I feel like most of our range wants to bet like two-thirds. That's why I put it there. But actually, I mean, it would probably most successful if we actually shove it. We're gonna be really cold if we shove it. That's for sure. And we're gonna have some queen X hands. Um, Jack 8. I'm gonna be opening. I'm gonna just be transferring this. Okay, folder. If I have some rust, guys, you're gonna forgive me. What is happening now? What is going on? Why is this happening? Not sure. Think I did messed up something. Not sure what it was. Think this was belong here. I see this sign of hand to note that is appearing and disappearing, and that's why this happened. Okay, hope it will be okay now. I'm gonna be checking. This guy is probably weaker player also, and this should be actually being here. And this should be here. We have only call when he pots there also. Just let me think. And this guy is weaker player. I'm gonna go 1/4 on table number 4. To 4x, we're gonna mainly have 4 bet or fold strategy. We are not calling 4x out of position. And I'll tell you something from my experience actually. When the player like this, which is for sure weaker player, loses the pot and immediately goes into 3-bet, he's gonna be actually bluffing 90% of the time. So I'm just gonna be jamming my pocket sevens. This is my experience speaking. Especially when they suddenly go like 4 something x. So we are never calling 4x out of position for something x basically. What is going on here? This guy jammed sevens on our 3-bet. This guy jamming here. Look at here. You see like this. This is what triggered this situation. We're going to be following here. And we're going to be 3-betting here. I'm just going to be changing it here. It looks better. Okay. It's maybe now. Okay. 9, 10. I'm going to go 1/3 here. He should be calling here every pocket pair. Um, Against me, he should be calling some ace jack off also because my 3-bet range is over 16%. So he should be calling a lot of ace jack off, some king queen off, 4-betting and calling it. On the turn, ace queen, I still think it's good as double barrel here. Because you're gonna have profitable bluffs on the river like every jack, king, queen, like ace. It's all good cards for our range and really bad for his range, so we can just attack it. We're calling pocket fours. If he bets this board where he should be checking like really a lot, like 70% of range should be checking. He should be checking a lot of aces, a lot of kings. If he's betting this flop, I'm gonna be raising immediately with my pocket fours, and he's checking, so we're gonna be betting small, 1/3. This is what he does after checking. He check folded 0 times. He only one time check call, and he check called ace jack on the 8-8-7. So I would guess his check call range is really bad, I would say. probably. When we are stepping here, we need to go actually bigger because we are more polarized. We're not gonna be betting. We are actually like wrapping a two pair plus, so we're gonna go with the polar size here. We can't bet. We just can't be betting here like 1/3. We are not betting pocket sevens, pocket eights now. We are more polarized, so bigger size has more sense, and also geometric size where we can actually jam the river. So that's the thing we want to be doing. Okay. I think it's okay now. At least we have make the HUD look okay now. The guy is now again three betting us. We're gonna go with the four bet. We're gonna be folding now. This guy three bets a bunch, and we would be four betting pocket tens for sure. And now we folded to a call four on the button. A nice size that button used also. Really nice size. I like the size. I see like people are using like too big size in this situation. Now he checked behind 8-9 jack, but actually like 8-9 jack is great for him. He's gonna be three betting pocket eights, pocket nines, pocket jack, and he won't always call a four bet in these positions with this size that he used. So I would be checking like aces and kings pretty frequently on this board. I'm not sure if this guy is using it, but using that strategy or that thought process, I'm not sure. But I like the check for sure. What happened there? We are going like this on the flop. What happened there? I thought this guy checked turn. Let's see. Okay, he bet small and this guy folded. Pretty interesting. He probably had hand like ace queen or basically ace queen. He probably would call the turn, so probably ace king or like ace five suited. They didn't want to do anything. Um, I'm gonna be floating here. This size is a little bigger. On 1/3 it's like clear float, and this is like whatsoever float. And we're gonna quickly uh, go into table because this table will be broken pretty soon. Yeah, I should have done it. uh, I'm gonna be betting on the turn with my gut shot. If he jams, we're just gonna be folding without any problems. So we are blocking tens and jacks, which is not that great. As you are blocking tens and jacks, so it's definitely better to bluff hand like ace deuce and ace three. Um, want to see after call turn fall to shove. Um, I'm gonna be jamming, but I basically have to be jamming now because their check range will be bad in these spots, and we actually doesn't look that we have a bluff here when the seven guts there. So like 10 jack basically and queen jack are only thing we can bluff. I mean, I could be also bluffing some hand like an ace jack that floated, but generally not a lot of bluffs here. So I just have to bluff 10 jack. It's better to have like ace deuce, ace three for sure, but we have a jack high here. We got called pretty lightly again. But but I mean, he probably thinks also that we are super polarized when we shove. But actually, I would be shoving like a decent king in this spot. So it's not like I'm like super polarized. I would be just jamming king queen for value. because their check range is really bad, but we get called pretty light. But I still think we just have to attack weak ranges, and this guy is a weak reg. I mark him as a weak reg, so his check range will be weak. His Let me see his hand. His hand is actually offset and double barrel in this spot, so yeah. We're gonna go 1/3 here and folding everything else. Checking behind with the king 6, it's okay. On the river, we're just gonna be bet normal size, like we're gonna bet every ace-x basically, or like every ace-x that we actually bet a turn with. I'm gonna go with an or bet now. We're gonna check behind massive amount of 9x hand, so or betting here is okay. I still like the bluff. We're gonna have better bluffs for sure, but I still like the bluff. Checking behind there, and on the river here, do I want to be block here? I'm thinking against this guy. We're gonna go block like 1.5. I think it's the play, and here I'm gonna again go with 1/3. We're gonna find new table. Nothing else we can do. And usually against weaker players, he's saying that he has an ace here, and this guy is like super nitty on the river, and I'm just gonna be folding to this guy. Also, I ran my pool analysis, and raising block bets are really underbluffed because people don't know which bluffs and which hands they should be bluff raising with. So they are improvising, and the guy that has 31 aggression not gonna be improvising much. So yep, we're gonna find a new table. Now we have 4 of them. We're gonna be checking table number 4, king 7, 4. We are 14% of range. Seems polarized strategy. I'm gonna be calling, folding everything else. Okay. And folding there. Pocket 5s are gonna be opening. We are folding on a queen jack 6. Still we got called like, but they call us pretty light in these spots also. Betting 1/3 at 5s. And here we can go 1/3, we can go bigger. 1/3 is fine. Bigger size is also fine. With pocket 5s, we also blocking bluffs, so we're gonna be folding. I'm gonna be potting the turn here. Calling a check raise there. This guy is calling on a small blind and has around 10% of calls. Let's see what hands he did call. 6, 7 off, broadways. We're gonna go pot on the river. Table number 2. We have a folder. The guy has pocket 3s, which are like c-bet most of the time. Okay. you have a low pair and a gut shot, you can fold out a lot better hands, and you have equity for bluffing the turns. So I don't see like why would you check the flop. 46%. Let's see for small versus big blind pop up how this guy plays. Or bet 7-10, which is okay. He also has a lot of value in this size. I would say he mainly now reps like a queen X, like a queen 9 plus. We have clear call with our deuce 3. He should be blocking a lot on the river here. Basically, every queen X wants to be blocking. And against him, I'm just gonna be jamming. I jam because of our history, and I know how he played the spots when he's looking weak, especially against me, so that's why I jammed. On the river here, we have a clear bet. Uh, do I want to put like pocket nines into block? I probably won't, but against this player, I mainly block. He's not going to showdown very, very often, so definitely want to be blocking against him. Falling there. So against him, we want to play it like this. We're gonna go bigger size table number 4. We're gonna go bigger size table number 2, and on table number 1, we're gonna be checking behind. Ace 8. We are betting the turn. We're gonna delay. We have a lot of weak Jack X hands, a lot of 9X hands. The size I use, I think it's appropriate with what we have. With our ace of diamonds, we also don't want to be bluffing here. And the 7, if I'm betting now, I have to be betting normal size or over bet size in this situation. We're gonna have also a lot better bluffs, so I'm gonna be checking there. He called ace 8, which I think it's fine. King 6 7, I'm getting betting 1/3. He's calling 29%. Let's see actually how he plays in 3-bet pots. He didn't fold ever to c-bet, so I don't expect he's not going to be folding hand like ace 10 here, or ace jack, or ace queen, queen jack. All of these hands will be calling the flop. When he raises in, and this is also like really bluffed line on this board. It's really actually raising in position of king xx. You thought it's not bluffy, but it actually is. We're gonna go like a block 5. You're gonna have like an ace king here and block like a 5 to still get value from hand like a king queen that decide to check behind the turn. Think it's pretty good. This is like terrible run out for my range, and yes, that's exactly what I want to do. So yeah, like I said, like on a king XX when they raise in position in 3-bet pot, it's a lot bluffy, and now we gave him opportunity to do what he did. So I like the play that we did. We played our range. We bet on the river appropriate side because generally our king will like our ace king will be basically good most of the time, and yeah, I'm gonna go with the 4-bet. And we mixed in on a runout that we're not gonna be like having straights really often. We mixed basically not straight to protect our range. He'll clear call here. He's jamming pocket eights, which shouldn't be ever a jam. He's probably in a tilt and he gets the flip. 8-9 we can go either way. 8-9 we can do 3-betting. We can do I mean in this situation squeezing. We can do calling. I'm mixing it both of it. This guy also calls folds to 3-bet 99% on this sample. So yeah, that can be also argument for squeezing. Um, have a clear call in this spot. This guy looks super passive. That's the problem. Super passive, and he bets the multi-way with here, and it looks super passive. He also doesn't see bet at all. I'll be just folding against this guy. And here we have bet check bet line on the ace xx boards. Also, I think we have this hand is calling most of the times because he's gonna be betting this board really often, and actually with bet check bet line their bluffs are mostly on the spots they are c betting range on, and here he will be c bet range on the ace 8 queen small blind versus big blind. But this guy also looks like look at his aggressions, and I would be calling, but I'm not happy about it actually against this guy, and he's from the tournaments marked as good. um, this is my mark for good players, but it is from the tournament. This guy is also overbetting here in the spot. There's absolutely no sense for an overbet. We have 4-6 off in the range. Both of us have 4-6 off in the range, and he's overbetting. So he overbets on the turn in a situation where we both have the nuts in the range, 4-6 suited and 4-6 off. He's calling for against 2.5, so doesn't have a lot of sense what he's doing, and this guy is actually not good at all, and he's tilter also. Usually his 5-bet range are like jacks plus, but actually here he did go with the pocket eights just based because he lost a previous hand. So yep. We're gonna put our heads up tables up, and we're gonna go. I think that's okay. Um, I'm gonna 1/3 on table number 1 and fold on table number 2. Calling here. I'm betting. We're gonna bet ace-3 on the turn. We're gonna go half. Again, turn. We have to be careful. 9 is better for his range. So we're just gonna be admitting it and we're just gonna be admitting it and only calling here. And we're gonna go pot. When he checks here, he's mostly give upping queen jack that just doesn't have complete any sense. He's raising like a queen jack in our double barrel range here. And I would bet actually small in this spot on the river. Just because he's polarized when he check raises the turn with that size especially. We are checking 4-9 suited here. Ace-8 we're gonna be calling here. We're gonna be betting half on the turn on table number 3, easy call on the table number 2. Checking behind with our ace-x, just to be protecting a little bit of our range. We're gonna have a lot of pocket pairs, a lot of jack-x hands, so having this is actually nice. And when he double checks, I'm just gonna be jamming the river. I'm gonna be betting big here. We're gonna be folding there. One third, table number 4, and 3-bet on table number 1. We are just using the normal size here. No overbet, nothing, just a normal size. 1/3 on table number 2. And the river again, small size. 2/3 size. Anarchy would raise against us 9-10 for sure. So that's nice. Table number 1 opening, table number 2 check. Block on the river. Queen 10 is clear call. Table number 1. He's also using completely wrong sizing in a heads up. In a heads up, basically you don't want to be polarized. Your 3-bet range is linear, always linear. So size should be normal size. are folding here, calling there. Checking the flop, basically 80% of hands we are checking on the 3-5-6, so it's much easier to check range than to have a betting range with like 20%. It's better to just have a check range there. If he stabs, this guy is like not stabbing at all. Our hand is not bad as a check raise also, but this guy is really not stabbing much. I'm gonna check raise. Because when we think about our range, which hands we're gonna check raise, we're gonna check raise hands like jacks, tens, queens. So hand like a queen jack is not that bad. And again, we are in situation when where the turn is bad for our range. And I'm gonna jam here. We are flipping. Turn is bad for our range, actually, really bad. But our bluffs will be hands also like 7-8 sometimes. I'm gonna be now jamming because I think we have a free roll basically and block here. We basically have a free roll, so why not jam? And we're gonna have some 7x hands. The check we're not gonna have a bunch of them, but we're gonna have 7-8 suited, we're gonna have 7-9 suited, we're gonna have occasionally hand like a 7 suited, some 6-7 suited. So we're gonna have some straights, and on the turn we're gonna check a bunch because most of our check raising range is over pairs, and if most of our check raising range is over pairs, then completing a straight is actually really bad for us. So we would be checking a lot of our straights, because if we are just checking our over pairs and betting all of our straights, we're just gonna be really easy to play against. But doing it like this, it's far better for us. We protect our overpairs, and this is the way to go. You always want to protect your range with your strong hands, and you want to mix all sizes, strength like nuts in across all sizes. It's really important, really important to have the nuts in all of the sizes possible. And just think of your range in these situations. Table number one, we can go 1/3, we can go bigger. He's folding 43 to a c-bet, which is decent. He's gonna call like a7 here. Ace, a lot of ace-x he's gonna be calling. Our hand is like clear c-bet. We have like enormous range advantage on the jack 10 deuce, so it's okay. King 4 is a call on turn. You see, like this is like really bad. Like he's delaying c-bet. He wanted to delay a lot of ace-x, and now he's like overbetting here. Why would you have an overbet range now when you have so many like ace-x hands? Do you want to like delay like ace queen and ace king? I can still have the turn is really bad for my range. I mean, I don't have many strong ace-x hands, and he can have, even he should be betting hands like an ace queen and ace king. Actually he wants to be betting them also on the flop. um So this doesn't have sense. We can still have hand like a 9-10. He bet only 1/4 on the turn, and he's now overbetting. That actually doesn't have sense. Just think about your range, how it looks like, and which hands you want to be betting. And when you just think about that, why would you just have an overbet range? Then you need to be like really balanced in this situation, because like 5% of your range wants to be overbetting on the river. Why would you just, how can you balance that? And actually solver, when the flush hits and he just delayed 1/4, we're gonna call like 9-10 a lot, and he should be betting a flop really often with the 9-10. So in that situation, we're gonna have actually more frequent straight than he's gonna have, and he's like overbetting the river there. So yep. Table number 2, we can go 1/4 or 1/3. I'm gonna go 1/3. I'll be folding here. I'm gonna still stay in the same size actually here. Um, Even I can overbet with this hand. It would be better have like a queen 9, but it's actually okay to be having also this hand. Let me see what I want to do. I actually want to be overbetting here. Betting bigger on table number 1. This guy, let's see how he actually plays against an overbets. We will be jamming the river. Folding there. He's wrapping narrow actually. Got a donk here. He's actually wrapping narrow range when he check raises. He basically wraps a slow played set, slow played straight, which is not going to be pretty often against us for sure. 1/4 again, 1/3 here. Here we want to have step range of 1/3 and overbet, because we want to be stepping hand like a king 9 pretty often. So we want to do it with smaller size. We have clear call there against the raise, and clear call here. We're big blind versus button versus big blind. I think he played the hand okay. I would probably call the turn, because still we can just have strong hands in this situation. And his hand, I don't think when he raises and he faces a back raise, he will not be happy. He probably will be happy when he plays against me, but against the pool it's gonna be disaster. So he did only call the flop, which is, I think, this is his check, 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 fold, check, 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 bet, over bet. Okay, just checking here. Folding there, king 7 is a call. Checking on the monotone board. Check calling the flop most of the times. 1/3 here. A lot of 7x, weak 8x hands. He can raise hand like a weak 8x also against our step on the turn. And we're gonna have bluffs for sure in this situation, so I think it's okay. This guy is really passive. I'm gonna be check calling, donking the turn, and let's see. He's went to showdown. It's decent. We're just gonna go like half. Checking the flop. Having a 9, it's actually bad in this situation. Let's see his step or bet the turn. This his step turn versus the hero a lot less, and all his value is up there. I'm gonna be folding. Having this 9 is bad for us, so we're not gonna be calling middle pair against an overbet, against a value heavy, and against really understabbing guy in this situation. We can call, we can call and or fold. I think it's okay. 22.7 here. I'm calling there. I'm gonna be calling here. Hmm. Gonna call pocket eights. I didn't play a lot of with this guy. Hmm. We're gonna be jamming turn. Usually, if they have queens, kings, they just shove. I'm gonna go block here. So we're gonna be shoving pocket eights. They're rarely trapping this situation also. Calling here. Three jack, we're gonna be folding. In six max, but in heads up we can open it. I just had the mindset of the six max, but on a heads up I'm basically open most of the hands. Uh, we can go 1/3 on 8-9. He's three betting eights plus, so king 9 suited, king 8 suited. So this board is really bad for him. We are not overbetting here on the turn. Queen jack off is mostly in his call range. He's gonna check raise some, but his check raise is only 8%, so he's not gonna check raise like a bunch of queen jack off. And we're just gonna be put it in the normal size, which I think it's fine. We're gonna go delay and bet river basically. If the river isn't diamond, if it's hearts, we're gonna be betting. If the river is 9, we're not gonna be betting. But basically, we're on all. This is his fault versus delay, really low. Let's see which type of hands he calls. So a lot of weak hands like low pairs, draws like ace high. So definitely we want to be, and I just time out there. And this is his call delay fold, pretty high. So we can just, I think we can just easily delay and bet. Basically, I'm gonna go 1 third with kings on the flop. We're gonna be checking bunch of turns here. We're gonna have hands like tens, jacks, queens, pocket eights. Um, so we're gonna check a bunch on the turn. Mm, I'm actually gonna jam the river against him, which doesn't have sense and shouldn't be doing, but against him I will do it. He's really capped. He hates when I do this to him, and I did it a couple of times, so I do it again. Usually our kings are block or check of the river, but against him I decided to play it like this. Um, what I want to do here. Um, we want to be or betting or betting small. I'm gonna go with an orbit, and I'm gonna go with an orbit here. So orbit, orbit. A6 we're gonna open. A6 we're gonna be opening. 5-7. We want to be betting still. I'm gonna go to thirds. Board where we're gonna be checking a lot, but our hand middle pair plus open-ender draw will be bet. He check raises. We have a clear call. 9-10 suited. He's three betting, which against me he will probably check raise all 9-10 off in the range. A lot of his bluffs will be 9x or 10x, but I would say mostly 9x. We have clear check. He would be bluffing the way he plays. He would be always bluffing on the turn with a 10x when the turn is this good for his bluffing range. So when he checks, it looks like to me that he has 8, ace 8 or king 8. Okay, he had jack 5, which I think should be probably a bluff. I think it should be probably a bluff actually. This his step on the turn. Pretty low. Pretty low unfortunately. So he's on the turn he's saying he has on the turn he says he has a good queen or better. Now he's actually saying he has a straight or better. Our hand is a fault. We're gonna 4-bet king 10 off. We're gonna be 4-betting it. Flop 4-5-8 is disaster flop. Basically, really bad flop. Really bad. For the small blind range, I think having a bunch of checks here in our hand is also on a check call. So we're gonna go 8.6 here. We're gonna be just check calling it. This is the guy steps 48%. Against us is 32. Step flop bet turn is 88, so this guy will continue with trash, gut shots. He's gonna use bigger size with this type of hands. Check call here. Against here we could just be calling. He had 8-10 suited. Had a nice hand actually. We're gonna check ace queen. We're gonna bluff a lot of worse hands than this. Ace queen is checking because a lot of his hands like ace 9. I'm gonna go with a raise now. Because I expect the bet check bet line here actually frequently. So if I have hand like an ace 10 or a boat, I would be do a lot of and blocking hands like a pocket queens, but pocket queens will be mainly bet, but pocket aces, I think it's always nice. And we also block hand like a ace jack, which should be continuing also barreling on the turn, but it could be also checking sometimes. We also block queen jack, that is definitely always checking behind on the turn. So I think turning ace queen is the way to go actually. Table number 2 check. So this is my first session that I played after the scoop is over, after the scoop has finished. So I feel I have some rust. I definitely feel I can say I'm playing perfect or even like the way I did when the scoop was on. But it's important to just lose the rust to get it off. I think it's really important. And next session for sure will be better. I will also make a stream, guys, in next few days. So on my Discord, we have a stream schedule. If you're interested, go also there, um, and you can join me. We can talk live about strategy. We can talk about hands. We can talk about plays. Basically anything, and it can be interesting. It could be fun. It could be fun. So if you are for it, join the Discord. And because in the next few days, maybe even like tomorrow or day after tomorrow, I will make the stream, and one day also. Uh, I plan like 2 streams before I go into the vacation, which I will go in a week. We're gonna be betting for value on the river, and our hand is really easy fold against an overbet. You see, like he calls versus delay 19, fold versus delay is only 19, so he calls a bunch of delays and then folds it on the river really often. 80% is his call and fold, so we're gonna attack his tendencies, which are leaks that he has. Now we had actually value bet. I'm gonna go 1/4 here and checking behind on the 8-9 jack. And also when I take off the rust, it's for sure will be better on streams. No overbet, we just want to be betting normal. We want to be betting here hand like an ace 8, ace 7 that we check behind on the flop. So yep. This guy would also be checking check raising on the let me just see. Let me see what I was trying to say. Yes, against my size on the flop, I wanted to say, now when the queen 10 got there, this guy would actually check raise uh, against my size, decent amount of the queen 10, which is a gut shot. Um, and against my size, he would be check raising a decent amount of it. So when the when the king hits, I'm a lot less worried about the straight against him. So yeah, and but still, I don't like an overbet in this situation. We have two pair. We have a bunch of ace x hands that we want to bet. So why would you like to be putting and to needing to balance for like a few hands that wants an overbet? Why would you need to balance the range when there is like a bunch of hands that wants to be bet normal size? Like just fit a two pair there and protect that range. I think it's far better than to have like a polarized situation there. Um, on the river, we will be betting the river for sure. We're gonna use smaller size. He saw that we are more than capable of putting the the small size with our value hands. So definitely we can. I'm gonna be having some nut flushes that we're gonna be checking behind. We're gonna have some aces that are checking behind for sure. And also, I don't believe ever that he would play king like this based on our history. So, one third. I think one third size. A lot of king X that we want to be betting. And one third is also play here. Let me see what he's doing. Small blind versus big blind. Let's open small blind versus big blind. His 4-bet range is actually crazy. It's 11%, 24% and 11 4-bet range. 11% of the like a whole range, like a lot of kill hands like this. And against us, it's even more. So definitely we have a clear call. Uh, check. We're just calling there and betting one third here. So this guy will have a lot of ace 10 off, a lot of king jack off hand, king 10, some hands like king 9 suited. Block here. I'm not sure what this guy is doing with his check raising, and now he's now over betting the turn. It feels like a bluff. We are always calling a shove here. Okay, interesting bet fold. And here on the river, I don't think he's like or betting or pair with the two eggs there. That's also a thing. You know, I don't think he's betting like pocket jacks with the two X that check raise the flop. Doesn't have sense. So I would say that on the turn he reps like a strong six or straight. So yeah. This guy seems spewy, I would say. Lavinia Portela. So we're gonna check call. We're gonna check call there. We're gonna call shove with our pocket nines. We want to have a spade, of course, but we are unblocking hand like ace 10 off, queen jack off, ace jack off, ace queen off with the spades a lot. And guy just looks spewy by the plays that he made, so he has a flush reward. Really unfortunate. But just based on my feeling about his play, I, I I would say he's gonna be over bluffing these spots just based on how he plays from what I've seen. Um, and when we also think about our range, how our check call range on the turn looks like. Um, we're gonna have hands like tens, jacks, queens. We're gonna have some weaker king X hands. We're gonna have hands like an ace queen that's still not the ace queen that didn't barrel. So we are actually, yes, for sure you want to have a spade there. But when I feel have a feeling for a player that that he will be overdoing something, and we bet only one third on the flop. So yeah. Okay. Deuce 4-10. One third or one fourth. Let's one fourth. King queen. We're gonna be calling, and here we're gonna be betting one third against probably weaker player, and definitely a weaker player based on the size. On the ace x, where you want to, with your check raise, you want to be really polarized, use a bigger size. So definitely weaker player. King queen is a clear call on the turn, and clear call a shove in this situation. Even if this is under bluff spot actually. So I would be calling a shove with our hand. Now it's clear check because we are good. A lot of heads up today, guys. A lot of heads up. I didn't expect a lot of heads up, but it seems like it's a day like this. Usually when I play heads up, it's I prefer just to play heads up, not to mix it. But if the guys want to be playing, I don't think it's fair to say no. I don't think that is fair. Check. Heads up is also my favorite format. We are wrapping like a small flush with a hand like an ace 6 with the 6 of hearts, or like king 8 with the 8 of hearts. So small flush on the river, and that we're gonna have it pretty often. So yeah, our queen 8 feels like we want to be bluffing it. We want to be checking there. Step flop, bet turn. Blocking ace 10 is really, really good. I'm blocking basically everything else. I think he gives up on the river a lot, but not his aggressive on the rivers. He's like non-equity bluffs should be hands like a queen jack that we actually block, which is not great. Bluff should be hands like a jack 9. So yep, I'm gonna be folding here ace jack. We are calling a lot of queens, and against him I will be jamming my queens. Just based on the table dynamics, I want to be aggressive against him. So I will be jamming. I'm gonna be calling here against this size on the flop. And okay, here. We have really great tables actually. We have two really bad players here and two really bad players here. And I will try to be more concentrated to other tables to see like table dynamics because it's really really important. Let me see if he has jack 7 off in the range. Probably don't. 6-7 he has for sure. We are calling. He should be overbetting or betting 1/3 and checking a bunch in this situation. Our hand is only call. River is actually bad, and river is actually bad. He can still have king jack. 4-5, but definitely a lot of his range is actually a lot of his bluffs actually good there. He's gonna have some no equity bluffs like a king queen with the king of spades. I think we just have to be calling jack 10 still. But yeah, the river is really really bad. Really really bad unfortunately. This guy just get the 6 on the river. We are really 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 under repped here. So there is we are really really there's no way I'm folding ever in this situation, and the guy is on the turn pretty polarized to a good ace x and the bluffs, and when 6 he's actually going to be bluffing in this situation. So he's like no equity bluff. What he's going to do there with hand like a 9-10 or like jack 10 or queen 10 or queen 9 suited or stuff like that. um, our hand is really under-repped and there's no way we're gonna fold in this situation the river. I think having this hand 10 of clubs is really bad against a big bet on the flop. Really unfortunate. I think a6 is actually check behind frequently on the turn, really really frequently. um, Here we can play a hand in a mixed way. We can go check the flop and use polarized strategy on a king 10-7, which I think I prefer a polarized strategy there. Not betting range that people actually are doing a lot. I think this is preferred to be polarized on that flop, um, because I think he had like jacks and queens and like 10x. I don't think we want to be like betting 1/3 with these hands. So I really like the polarized approach and betting really big on these flops. So checking jacks are what we want to be doing. Now he's like polarizing himself to king queen plus. So we actually have a decent bluff catcher. Actually, when you think of, we actually have a decent bluff catcher. He played it really good, we have to say. This guy is capable of bluffs. We played a lot. He's losing just because we played really and we played 9k hands and this is his sample with me. So generally he's whoever is marked with the red is the winning player and winning like 4 plus BBs. Um, so he's a good reg and he played the hand good. He put us in a really tough spot and we were also deep. Pocket Tates here gonna be calling the flop. It's gonna be calling the flop. Pocket Tates. Unfortunately, pocket Tates are folding. I think mostly on the turn. I think mostly folding. Yep. 1.5 hour for looks like an ace high. For a rust off session, it's not that bad. I think we also have a few unlucky spots where they get on the river in a situation where we look really weak and they hit the river. But okay. Again, I hope a lot of you comes to a stream on the Twitch because then I will also have really more motivation and we can just talk about a lot of interesting things. And whenever it's more people and we get more insights, more points of view, we are learning more. All of us are learning. You're not learning just from players that you are better. You're learning a lot also from players that have just a different style of play, different strategies, that see things different way. So having the opportunity to see a situation in a different way, it will be like really beneficial. And I will always take that opportunity. So I invite you to join my Discord. You will have the in the uh, I will put a link in the description. And here, this is the spots I basically hate. Guy is super super tight, and he's raising us. He's doing it with two pair plus, and I'm just gonna be folding. And now I feel like what I'm bluffing if I'm not bluffing this. What I'm calling a check raise on the flop, and I don't like to bluff this kind of players because this guy is probably capable of checking like a queen 10 on the turn. I will put a link into the description of the video. So join in and we will arrange the stream and we're gonna have fun playing poker. Uh, these are basically my last days on PokerStars also. Uh, I'm gonna be I'm gonna be putting most of my volume on iPoker because I have a far better deal there, and PokerStar made I just can't get challenge anymore. So basically I only have chests, and even I like PokerStars the most. I will still play just to keep my status, but definitely it won't be that much anymore. I played in the last year and 2 months. I played uh, because before year and 2 months I released the breakthrough, and I played over 600k hands. So yep, I will be playing mostly on iPoker and on 400. On the Super Sport Poker I'm gonna be playing. He's saying he has ace 10 here in this situation. That has absolutely no sense to be raising the turn with it. I just should have back raised actually. And this guy, I mean, I think fold is okay. I'll be checking behind here, and I should have just back raised actually. I should have just back raised because it feels like really bluffy, and it feels really bluffy, and you see we're gonna have bunch of I can just have a two pair or straight and just use it with my block size on the turn. So yeah, I just should have back raised actually. I just should have back raised because he's basically repping ace queen there most of the time. He's c-betting for sure queen jack, so he's not gonna have it. Queen 9, this guy would bet probably. Definitely, yeah, I should just back raised. Um, just to put the pressure on his capped range, and I'm uncapped. We just put a lot of we just put a lot of uh, in across all sides. We put a lot of value hands, so we're gonna have it also in the block size. So yeah, I just think this guy has 7-10 off. Okay. We try to put the pressure on the ace highs here, and basically I'm repping straight or hand like a jack 9. and I think it our hand fits it. We have to bluff the river for sure. A lot of his Jack X hands should be betting the flop, so he's not gonna have he's not gonna have many Jack X hands. King Jack Ace Jack, I think, basically bets the flop. He's opening 16% of hands, so um, he's gonna have this like Ace 8 suited, Ace 7 suited. That's gonna be calling, and hands like some 10x hands gonna be calling and maybe folding to overbet on the river. So we want to attack these hands basically. He's having a Queen X. He did call us quickly. So I don't know how it would have worked. Not sure. Probably not great, but what we can do. We are having a night high. We're not gonna ever win a pot. We can still have a bunch of value hands. Not a bunch, but we're gonna have 8-9 off there for always. We're gonna have Jack 9 off always. So still decent amount of value. King 9 always. Yep. If I'm having a night high, 9 high, and checking the river against a guy that actually is not going to showdown crazy amount of time, he's only 28 went to showdown, so we have fold equity. We want to be folding at least hand like an ace X, maybe some 10x, maybe some pocket eights, maybe hard. I think he snapped called us, so he would probably call an 8x also. But as long as I didn't see a7, for example, I think it's fine. Uh, I'm just gonna go 20% on the river. I think it's good. This guy is also no good. He's never gonna raise us because he knows we are not folding that much, so he's not, and he's really nitty, and he's not gonna ever bluff raise us. So mm, situation is good for a block on the river. Let's see. We are on the wait list on the another table, so we're gonna turn one zoom table. We're gonna go to one zoom table until we get the new table. Usually now it's 2 a.m. in the morning, so usually when it's around 2 3 a.m. I start to do adding some zoom tables in. um, and I have now also decent. I have around like I played like 20k hands on the zoom, not like much, but I think it's enough to have a feeling how how the game goes. I'm not a fan of zoom. I think one of the most important aspects of the poker is neglected there. Table dynamics that can like people are underestimated, and my opinion is that table dynamics can make a lot of like zero EV or minus EV hands into plus EV. It can give you additional win rate. It can boost up your win rate in many situations when you're observing, when you have a good feeling what the player in which state of mind player is, um, what he will try to do. For example, if you remember that hand where we had ace king suited and the guy shoved pocket eights, I usually know his game and he's never ever shoving pocket eights in a normal spot. But against us in a heads up, he often goes into tilt mode also, and yep, then he actually against this side, we're just gonna be folding in this position. So yep, you see how things changes because I know the guy is never jamming given pocket tens there. He's calling for bet with pocket tens, uh, and suddenly he's jamming pocket eights. So just observing a stuff like that can be really important. And in the zoom, when the pool is bigger, you just lose this opportunity. And yeah, that's the only reason why I think that regular tables are better Gonna be better for your win rate for sure. Let's just check behind with the ace queen. We're gonna bluff worse hands than the ace queen. I'm still betting ace king for value. This guy called 3-bet, and he just called 3-bet with a queen 6 suited. He just feels he's gonna call. There's no way I'm bet folding to 83-28 ever when I double barrel my ace king. He's gonna have so much weird hands and random hands. He called queen 6. He called 3-bet with queen 6 suited. He's gonna call like all ace 10 off, all ace jack off. He's gonna float here with the ace of diamonds, and he's gonna hit the flush draw. Just gonna jam it. So yep, just unfortunate, but definitely. But definitely spot, we just have to be. He's having all ace queens in the range here. He's not gonna tribet any ace queen offs. Ace queen suited, he's gonna have some in the tribet range, but ace queen off is this guy will have in it's gonna have in call range. But I mean, we are double barreling our ace king for sure. I would like that he has more for sure, so I can be jamming here. But I mean, he's repping a queen X. Suddenly he raises with with a 10x. Okay, I didn't expect this for sure. And his aggression is 27, but on the river is 42. So I'm gonna go with the block there. So his actually his river aggression is high, and he would bet all his queen x for sure on the turn, and now he reps narrow. I didn't expect that this guy would be just this profile of the player would be just raising a 10x against our block, but it seems that he did that, and we called because he reps really narrow there. But also, I think I made mistake that I think just turn is a lead small, definitely lead small. The guy is passive on the flop. On the turn, he's more active, but still, I don't like the turn check. Leading small, I think it's a way to go. We're gonna call king jack off. These guys are killing me. Tukman, this guy, Tincho killed us. All of these green guys are just a lot of weird stuff, random stuff, and it's all paying great for them. We're gonna be check raising, folding here. But I mean, I'm glad actually because it will get me to just get into the optimal state of play. Tomorrow I'll be better for sure. So this guy is also probably weaker player, but I'm not gonna mark him still. But probably is a weaker player. We're gonna see what he had. Let's see, a7. Okay, didn't bluff the river. This combination of ace king, I'm just gonna be calling to a 3-bet if the guy 3-bets. Jack 5-7. Prefer a bigger size on this board. A lot of our hands wants to be immediately checking. Has like 8s, 9s, 10s. Doesn't want to be betting. So that's why I'm just we clearly gonna have check range. We're gonna be checking some lower jack X like jack 9, some like queen jacks. We're gonna be checking. Call here. 6 8. Now he says he has a jack X actually. We're gonna be raising ace king. We're gonna be raising ace king. And I'm raising with the size that's saying I have a better jack X than you. I'm saying that I have a king jack or ace jack basically. Or pocket kings or aces. I would still use the same size. I like this combination of ace X, of ace king actually. Blocking a king jack, I would say that's most important because king jack will be calling most of the times on the raise. We all say it good, but they just call and they actually have the hand that we want them to not be having. Let's see his fold versus raise. From what I remember, is pretty big. Yep, it's really big. So I really like our play. I like our hand that is actually doing great in situation as a raise bluff. It's not winning ever as a call basically because uh, generally in my pool analysis I did it. They're blocking bets after, especially betting the turn or donking the turn, are really heavy and they don't bluff with blocks at all. Because if you to be able to be bluffing with, I'm just gonna be folding here. To be able to be bluffing with blocking, you need to be really creative. You need to really understand your range, and you really need to know these spots. So you need to know what you want to be turning into a bluff. You need to know that, and you need to work on that. And people don't work on block bets like frequently or often. And mm, actually, actually, I'm gonna be folding to his 4-bet. And people just don't do it. People don't bluff. And ace king as a bluff catcher there in that line where he donked the turn, called the big bet on the flop. We're gonna be mainly. He's saying he has a jack X on the river, and I want to be blocking his best jack X hands. He's saying he has jack X, and I want to be with my bluff raising blocking the best jack X hands that he's gonna have, and mostly the king jack. I want to be blocking that king jack, and ace king fits perfect there. He's not winning as a call, but I mean we're gonna just have ace jack there, king jack. We're gonna have pocket aces, so yep, we're gonna have value there, and I feel this is one of our best hands to turn into bluff, especially when we know how the pool plays and when we know that the pool is actually just under bluffing these spots, and they will often be having it. They will most of the time they're gonna just have what they rep, and he repped uh, like a medium jack X hand. I actually felt good today. That's also I felt good. I didn't play this like more than a week, but I felt good. Usually, when I don't play 1 or 2 days, I'm done. I play like complete garbage. So definitely, for me, like big pauses are deadly. I always want to stay sharp in my game, and the best way to be doing that is to play every day. And I try to play every day. And the worst time is when I come from vacation and I don't play for like a, let's say, like 10 days. My like next like 3 4 sessions, I'm just know it's gonna be like bad, really bad. I just expect it. We're gonna be calling delay. Let's see into the small blind versus big blind pop up. What he's doing with delays? He's delaying only 30%, and we see with the bigger size, there was a hand like a jack nine, and this was like middle pair, top pairs. So not he's not gonna bluff often here. Now he actually reps. I would say like probably a good flush or a full house. Against this range, our hand is actually not that bad as a bluff catcher. If he's betting smaller, he's gonna bet 10x or 8x. And he just can't be overbetting like an 8x because we can easily have a hand like an ace 8 or king 8. So he's actually saying he has a flush or better, I would say. And played like this, it's not gonna put a lot of full houses into delay range, that's for sure. Then basically he says he has a flush because full house, only full house he's gonna have is gonna be pocket fives. And flush, he's c-betting small blind versus big blind. He's actually c-betting. Let me see how much. Let me see how much he's c-betting. 43%. So a lot of flush draw will be also betting. And suddenly he doesn't rep that much, guys. He reps basically narrow range now. We're gonna be jamming pocket queens here. And we unfortunately get a bad beat. His call is, I mean, really, really bad of a shove. Call 4 bet is okay, but calling a shove is bad. But unfortunately, we we lost it. Gonna be falling there. But just people don't fall to us very much. We can just say that ace 9 is a clear. I would say ace 9 is better as a call, and hand like ace deuce or ace 5 is better as as a check raise with the heart. He only called the block with a straight. Pocket queens are only a call of the 4 bet in these positions, but the guy jammed. Let's see in the small blind versus big blind. We're gonna go like this. I will float it without the spade. Following the turn, I will bet the river here. Unfortunately, that the guy did get the 10x. I don't like when people play something really the way it shouldn't be played and gets there. We are jamming as a button into the two ranges of the 3 better and the call 4 better. And it's really unlikely that he's gonna be good ever with the tens. The best he can see is like ace king. And we don't have any call range in this situation. We just have a shower fold range, and we're against two ranges. Yep. And he just snapped with. He actually snapped with tens. We get the new table, guys, so we're gonna leave this Zoom table. But it's okay. Whatever this session goes, the most important thing is to go through the session, finish it, and tomorrow it will be better. I'm gonna tomorrow be in a far better shape than today. Okay. The tables are great also. I don't think this type of tables I had in my last 100 session. I don't remember that I had tables this good. You have basically on all tables you have a big fish and or weaker or big weaker player. Uh, the regs are most of them are weak, and yep, you know, even this guy is he's winning player, but he's not good. He is a winning player. But you see, like when to showdown 35, a low aggression frequency, a low when wins a flop. So yep, this guy is also not good. Even he's winning with this sample of 733 hands, but he's not good. And this guy is winning like 4 BBs, but he's also not that good. So tables are like better than ever. So we're gonna be keep playing. Ace nine, we're gonna be check calling. 58% of range calling or three betting, but his bet versus Miss bet. Okay, but he you see this, his bet versus Miss bet is really bluff heavy. He's stabbed with the ace blocker. Okay. He stabs the flop and overbets the turn. Let's see what that means. Because he's basically repping for 6 that he doesn't have off, I think. Yep, he doesn't have it off probably. Pocket fives, pocket sevens. I mean, we are a bit. Having an ace of diamonds is also bad, and having a 9 is bad. So we're going to just defend better ace high. Even I feel like it's bluffy. Actually, I feel it's bluffy. I feel it's bluffy, but we have really bad combo. We have a combination that is actually blocking his bluffs. So yep, we're just going to be folding that. And if we want to be calling, we can call like ace king there without without the ace of diamonds, for example. If we want to continue with the ace highs, that we should be continuing against this player. So yep, I'm gonna call this type of hands ace queen. We're gonna be opening table number 3. Small blind calls, but he's calling 57% off range. So here we can see actually all sorts of hands. We're gonna be betting our ace queen. 10 jack. We're gonna be folding. King 4 suited. King 4 off, I apologize. I'm defending it against the small blind, against the button. I would probably call against this player. Against the reg player, I would be folding it. I'm folding there. Six nine. Ace 8 we're gonna be opening or 3 betting. Even the guys, he's opening 7%, 33 on a cutoff, but it could be for sample. But I feel like he's tighter, weaker player. Ace 8 on this board, we can do one third, we can go bigger. I'm gonna actually against him go with a half. Uh, 9.2. Check raise one of the one time. He's gonna have he's gonna have king queen off in the range for sure. Usually when weaker players use this size, I'm thinking Harry has I don't think he ever has a queens kings. The problem is that he has king queen off in the range for sure. He's now repping. I just think he never has queens, kings, or aces. Now he reps a jack X. This is his first three bet, and size doesn't have sense. So we are just gonna be calling here. Aces, okay. I can live with aces. I don't I don't know what this was actually. Probably for value. Yeah, but I think probably for value. Queens, kings needs protection. I don't think he ever bets it like this. Against him, I don't think that turning like force into bluff has sense. But I just feel we're gonna see so many random hands there. And we're gonna see like he probably can bet like ace king or ace queen like this. When I'm calling the turn and on that break, I'm not gonna fall to river just because we're gonna against this type of player we're gonna just see a random bunch of random stuffs, and I'm just gonna use a bigger size also here. And now we're gonna go again. I think we can also go one third. I think we can go one third because of the SPR. I'm just gonna be following the turn here and Jack 9 off, calling a squeeze. They're just killing us today. Just killing us today. Usually, these type of players, I'm just just can't put them on the range, any range, logical range. You just can't put them on. They're just gonna call bunch of hands, and against my like top of my range, they'll just get like lucky and stuff like that. So really annoying, really annoying. Against him, we definitely want to bet the turn big. Uh, there's no question about it. He's having Jack 9 off. He's gonna have King Jack off. He's gonna have Ace Jack off. He's gonna have Ace 10 off. All of these bunch of hands that we want to get value, and we now just run into Jack 9 off, which shouldn't be ever there. But yeah, usually when I play and I have tables like this, usually it goes really bad for me. But what we can do, we can just play the best we can, and that's it. Table number 4. We want to bet 1/3 here, check or overbet. And I'm gonna go with an overbet. This guy is never gonna be. I'm gonna actually use 200%. This guy c-bets 74%, so he's not gonna ever check behind the flush draw on the ace xx board, and we want to use that into our advantage and just put a lot of pressure on his range. That is what we want to be doing. Table number 2, big size, we are polarized. I'm gonna go 11. Let's see the guy. Oh, what he called the 3-bet once, 4-bet once, so nothing we can see basically. I'm gonna go 2/3 because we are deeper. Ace king is a bet on the flop. We're gonna bet bigger here. Pocket fives we're gonna be calling. And this guy 3-bets 15%, so he's gonna have a lot of hands like an ace 10 off, king queen off, king jack off. A lot of hands like that. Five's gonna be folding turn mostly, and we're ace king jamming the river, and we get into the quads. I wanted to say I don't see how we can be beat ever, but we can. Pocket this is our call of the 3-bet to this size ever. Pretty sick. We lost like 1,000 blinds against this type of players. Pretty. His betting range on this board is 6-7, 3 diamonds. I'm gonna go 1/4 on the river. Pocket nines are calling and folding the flop. They just killed us today. And these green players just whoop our ass. I would like to say that it is because of the rust, but it also happens usually. So I just can't blame the rust for it. I also I wanted to say how it's nice that we block ace 4 suited. That was something I had in mind. It is nice, but we actually didn't block the ace 4 suited, so I thought we did, but we didn't. But it's only two combination of the ace 4, so I'm gonna go 1/4. Small versus big blind, limped strategy, and gonna see if we have more tables. Okay, are we gonna be donking here? Let's see how he reacts to donks. Or better bet small again. We're gonna bet small again. And we gonna go over bet here. This guy seems like he's gonna be a reg for. He's gonna be a reg in future, it seems. We're going to be folding here. We're going to mix in here some strong hands in this line. We shouldn't be raised quite often on the turn actually, but we did now. He probably see us weak when we donk the turn with this size on the turn, which is not true, but we can also go with the back raise on the turn, but we want to be doing it when we block like a two pair or like pair plus draw. It's better to do it like with this type of hands than with the hand that we had. So and Jack 9 off, we're gonna be folding. Insane, insane session. I just can't say anything else. Just insane session. Usually, the worst day, the days where I have the worst sessions are basically Friday and Saturday when there is a bunch of these type of players. It's hard to range them, and it's just insane when they just hit a top of the range against our value hands. That's one of the worst feelings. And also on the other side that I play, that is called Super Sport Poker, I played with these guys regularly. These type of players are regs on my side. And so, yep. Usually we want to be checking a lot here, but the guy is calling or attributing like 35% of range. He's gonna have a bunch of hands like ace 10 off, like a suited low hands. King queen off, king jack off. What is the worst here? This guy can just have a jack 10. We saw that he with the ace jack he played it similar. He can just have the hand like a jack 10 and just bet it for value and or 9-10. Against him we shouldn't be turning like bluff jam here, so I'm not gonna do it. Even every part of my body wants to be doing it, every, but it's not gonna go well for us. Even our hand is really nice bluff jam. Four five off. Let's open it. Folding there. We're gonna do a lot of checking on the low boards. Maybe we'll play some heads up. I don't think so that this guy will be playing much. Uh, this turn is not good for our range, so we're not gonna be donking here in the situation where we were 3-bet, where we are pre-flop raiser. So he's gonna have more. He should be having this player. I don't think he's gonna have 6-8 off. I have, for example, like all of the 6-8 off hands, but I don't think this guy has. We're gonna be just calling. We could also raise. Let me see his river aggression. Okay, it's okay. We're gonna be 3-betting here. Step turn bet river. Fold versus raise one of the 4 times. I'm just gonna be. He's polarized a lot actually. But this guy will not bluff against me in these situations. Our hand is also called in the fold in the vacuum, so we're not gonna be calling it. These type of players will just kill us today. Thirty-seven 16, 37-17. Can we get a revenge today? That's the question. Can we get a sweet, sweet revenge? I don't think so, but we can try. Queen 7 Jack. I'm gonna check raise. The size will be. We have some pocket sevens. Queen Jack. Oh, we need to be like this. We have King Queen. Queen Queen can also check raise. That's why I turn down the size a little bit. We have some sevens, but more than half sevens are three betting. So we have some sevens. We have all the or most of the Queen Jack off, and yeah, we need to tone down the size. Just to have an idea about his range. Seems tighter, ace 9 suited, okay, pocket fives, jack 9 suited. I think it's by this it should be around 16%. We saw ace 9 suited, we saw pocket fives, so I think it's gonna be wider. So for example, here I have a polarized strategy, and the guy has also polarized strategy, okay. I'm gonna call pocket six with a heart. Think we are good here. He had a pocket fours, so definitely more than the sample says. Sample says 12% against us 11, but if he has pocket fours, it's gonna be more. We need to call some pocket pairs on the flop. We're gonna fold pocket nines and pocket tens always. So pocket sixes are better. We saw that he has pocket fives, so he should be also bluffing with pocket fives. He's his worst pocket pair on this board, so he should be bluffing with that. Interesting session, really interesting session. I don't remember that I had so much like wrong ranging of the players, and I did like range them like poorly. All of these green players. I know it's really hard to range them because sometimes they called three bet with queen. Actually, they called squeeze with queen six suited. Sometimes they will call it with they will call like a call squeeze with jack nine off. So yeah, it's gonna be hard to range them because they will play by the feeling. And in this situation, I actually tried to play by my experience. For example, when I called with pocket fours, that guy that we played against that had aces, I was just playing from what I usually see, like they are not betting these sizes with the overpairs. Okay, aces has sense because he doesn't need any protection, but I don't know if he's thinking in that way or so. Yep. First delay c-bet of the 567, now 68 hands. First delay c-bet. Okay. We're gonna go bigger size on the 992. Our hands needs a lot of protection against 1/3. Basically, he's gonna play as a check. This is his fold versus c-bet stats. So if we are betting 1/3, he's gonna just call everything. And with my pocket eights, I'm just gonna use bigger size with my hands like a jacks, queens, kings. I'm gonna go 1/3. This guy is also a weaker player, and we're gonna fold here. It was way easier when we played that guy heads up and that other guy heads up. But then we had good tables. I thought it was good tables. Because like tables like this, where you have players like this with 300 blinds, I don't remember when I saw something like this. Also weaker player. Insane. Cold 3-bet. Now just think what type of range they can have. They can have from pocket fours to ace queen off to king jack suited. Gotta bet my king 10. I think this guy will just call everything that he did cold call with. Maybe not just complete garbage like, let's see what was the board. I feel like they would just call like any ace high in this situation. This profile of the player. Maybe he has like queen 9. Usually they will not be folding much, but I mean we're gonna have hand, and king 10 is nice with the backdoors, and it's just nice c-bet. Uh, Table number 1, we're gonna be checking the flop, checking here on the flop also. We're gonna go bet small on the turn here. Check calling here. And now he checks the trips on the river. He steps it on the turn and now suddenly checks it on the river. Strange. Really strange. And now we're gonna go again. Squeeze. Against this guy I'm folding with like really fast fold. Really fast fold. Falling to a squeeze with the ace jack. This guy is good player. His win rate is around 7 BBs, 7.5 I think. He's one of the few regs that I marked as good or really good. I'll just prepare my reads for him. Betting bigger start with the queen 8. Folding everything. King 9, we're going to be opening. Okay, I can now go into reads about that I have about him, just to be prepared for battle if we gonna have some pots, just to remember everything. Limb 3-bet here with this size. What is this means? He didn't limb 3-bet at all, I think. He didn't limb 3-bet at all, I think. Yep, this is his first limb 3-bet. So it's probably a value hand. If he's having aces, I think or kings, I thought that he would be checking. We're gonna call because if we hit a 10, I think we can just get it all in. I'm gonna fold the turn here. I think we if we hit this, we would just win the like 500 BB spot. Because if he would bet the turn, I would be just jamming, and he wouldn't be folding even hand like ace queen or ace king. I want to see also the river. Do we have some? I want to have a feeling about his river play, how he plays rivers. Because he actually did, his went to showdown is high, but he did fold river a couple of times. So I'm not still sure if he's how he approached the river. I think it's really important because to just be prepared for the strategy against him. Because some of the players with this type of went to showdown, you don't want to bluff, but I feel like this you actually can. And so I'm just seeing what he did call. He called the overbet in this situation on the river with the top pair. Okay. So definitely I want to have an idea because when to showdown doesn't tell you the whole story. You can donk the flop also. Let's see how this guy plays multi-way when he's in position on 29% c-bet. Check on the river. King 3, okay. We have a call of the 3-bet here. This is his three betting range 26, 10, 12, but we don't have, we didn't see a showdown, so we don't know. Pocket deuces from 2.5 to 7.5 is always a call, and it's always a check raise of the flop because we're gonna overfold this flop to a c-bet. We're gonna fold here hands like a pocket fives without the diamond, like pocket fours, pocket sixes, and that's why we're gonna do a lot of check raising, and it's gonna be 2.5. We're gonna have hands like an ace queen, so our value range is like king queen plus. We're gonna mix hands like a king jack here, like a jack 10. A bunch of these hands wants to be checking. Even hand like a king queen wants to be checking. We have also 9-10 suited that wants to be betting. I'm just gonna be checking deuces. We have jack 10, jack 9. Feels now that he has a king queen. He reps a king queen basically, I would say, or king jack. King queen, okay. When I check the turn, I just have to be checking the river, I think, because a lot of my range will be like a jack 10, and jack 10 is still winning against nines and tens. So yeah, definitely I like the check. If I check the turn, I will just check the river also with my deuces. I don't like the spot here. We are against 22-7 player. We're we're gonna be probably against queens here. Kings. Okay. We are calling the turn here against unknown guy. It doesn't. I just don't think he has a lot of deuce X hands. But this guy has low aggression frequency that I'm just gonna fall to a pot against this type of players. And also, what I was trying to say, with our Jack X, we actually beat now hands like a nines and tens, hand like an ace eight suited. So um, we're gonna call because of him. Um, so yeah, just if I decide to check the turn, which I would with Jack 10 sometimes, then yeah, we're gonna also have some King Jack. The check raised like King Jack of Spade, but now that's not possible. We can also bluff with Jack 10 when I think. But his 3-bet was so big, you see like this is his 3-bet versus earlier middle position or against the cutoff. So against him actually I think we have showdown value with the Jack. We're gonna be floating here. When they step, when they dunk, they're usually weak. So he's gonna have a lot of top pairs. So I'm gonna be raising now. We're gonna have a lot of queen X hands that float to the flop. Hands like a king queen, hand like an ace queen. And the plan against him was to just on a break like to jam the river. Now we rep really polarized. Now we're saying we have hand like a set plus basically. This was like a big setup, we must be honest. We put him correctly on the top pair on the flop, but this is like huge cooler that go out or that did go our side. But he was really unlucky here. He was lucky when we had pocket tens and he called. He called a squeeze, call a squeeze with the jack nine off. Now he was unlucky, but he shouldn't be donking basically ever in a multi-way in that situation. In position range, he has the strongest range on this board. His range is really wide, and he shouldn't be ever donking. He did donk. Our first win against the green. That's also good. Maybe we can still turn it around. And this guy, I mean, this guy has 600 blinds, and on other table, he had like also 570 or something like that. And he's like, I would say, like really bad. He 3 bets 4.5x in position. That is his normal size that he uses. And from the big blind, he uses 4x. So, you know, against 4x, you are not calling anything. When somebody 3 bets you 4x or more, you're not calling anything because there's no sense. There is no any hands you want to be calling. Actually, you want to be only 4 betting or folding, and he's still playing that strategy. And he's playing that strategy against me or against other regs. That I mean, if you're playing that strategy against weaker players that's gonna still call your 3 bet light and with hands they shouldn't be ever calling, it's fine. But he's using that, and still he's gonna be getting. Let's go 1/4. We're gonna go pot. Now I think if we have a hand like an ace eight, ace jack, ace queen, we want to bet it pot. On the turn, we want to be betting small in a multi-way pot. It's the way we need to play. But on the river now we can go more polarized. We are basically repping a good ace, and the size should be like 3/4 plus. I like to do pot. have a clear call with queen 9. Check raise on the flop is okay. He's c-betting range on all boards, and we're gonna go with the check raise. We're gonna go like this, and we're jamming here on the turn. Mm. Let's now check jam. And now I don't like it anymore. Now I don't like it anymore. Okay. I want to see something here. Yep. I wanted to see um, how much he calls a check raise. I want to see how much he calls a c-bets, call a check raise, fold turn in single raise spot 2 out of 2 times, bet turn is 0 out of 1 time. So now I feel that I had made a big mistake, really big mistake, really big mistake we made. I wanted to check jam my hand because I also feel like they will overstep for protection and they will bet a lot of king X. Now we're gonna see for sure. I think he has an ace X. If he folds here, then he is capable of folding ace X. Okay, he did fold. So I had a feeling that he's actually, regardless of the big winter showdown, I actually feel that he's capable of folding. Okay. Clear block on the river. He reps basically, I would say he reps ace 10, and he should be probably using it as a bigger size. We have a clear call now. And I think he would use a bigger size with that hand. So king 6 is a fault. We're gonna bet 1/3 on the ace king 10. We can also bet bigger, but I'm gonna do 1/3. Usually on like ace Broadway X, you can go with an overbet on the flop immediately in these positions. We're gonna go big on the turn, but not an overbet. We're gonna 1/3 in the turn. And this is like the worst run out for us to be bluffing. Basically the worst. All of the ace X now, and he's gonna have some 10 jack, queen 10 also. And if we are doing it, we need to be super polarized, I think, also. And what is going on here? He's now repping a queen x. That, let me see his raise flop. His raise flop is 6% against 1/3. I think he would raise decent amount of the queen x on the flop, and on the turn he actually only reps a queen x. And now he basically reps a full house, basically, with this size. He's actually full of shit on the with the overbet on the river. But we are not beating any pairs. That's great. That's bad. So if he's bluffing with it after, and usually when you are repping a full house, your bluffs will just gonna be blocking a full house. So after betting turn, and when he goes with the overbet, you see he did turn a 4x into a bluff here, and we are not beating any pair, so we just can't do anything, unfortunately. Huge setup there with ace king against in these positions. But probably this guy should probably call this deep a 3-bet against. It was limp raise, limp 4, but yeah, pretty bad spot. So he limped 3-bet again. Yeah, that's in this situation. Ace king wants to be jamming a lot actually, so pretty bad spot. 1/3. I'm gonna fold sixes. Pretty bad spot. Almost 3 hours, guys. Almost 3 hours. But it was really fun session. So really fun session. We got our ass whooped, I think, but still the session was good. I prefer a heads up form. For me, I think that heads up has the biggest skill, uh, the biggest skill advantage you can have in any game. It's in heads up. And in heads up, uh, it's like most variants happening, but the edge you can get is the most from any other game. So 5-7. I'm gonna still open these hands in this kind of table. I think we can do it. Let's see how did they play it here. King 10. Check, check. Call. Okay. Let me just see the flop. The flop was check. Yes. And he double checks. Oh, no, he calls. So he calls here. You see, like these sizes in a multi-way are just really bad. Okay, we have weaker player. Maybe it's good because of the weaker player, but generally you want to be stabbing small. And I just feel on the river here. You need to go a lot smaller also. Well, let's go with 3-bet. 4-bet. 4-bet. This guy is a weaker player for sure. I just don't remember when we had tables like this. What is today is like Monday. Pretty strange. Monday and feels like Friday or Saturday. Let's see against the double barrel here. Our hand is a fold, unfortunately, especially with the blocker, and he's opening only 30%, so we are basically against the cutoff range there, and that's the problem here. Against the bigger size, we're gonna mainly call this hand. Open ender, we can just. We're still gonna be calling. I will call because we have two weaker players, and we're just gonna be jamming on the table number 4. There's no other size we want to be using than jam in this situation. He has, I would say, a strong 9x or 10s, jacks or queens. He should be block betting it on the river, and he's afraid, so I'm just gonna be jamming. Okay. Against big blind versus he has. I mean, maybe it's the same. But our hand is a mix of 4 bet or call. I'm gonna call this combo. Fold it on the flop. We're a little bit deeper, so we're gonna go 8. This guy doesn't fold to 3-bet much. He called ace queen suited, and that's it from the sample we have. So usually we want to check a bunch on this board, and we have a really good table here. Just so we can try to get revenge on the green ones. I want to get them today. Usually I like winning and playing against regs, but now when we get our ace whooped like 4 or 5 times, maybe even more, I just want to get some sweet, sweet revenge. This board is really bad board. I guess we have like jacks probably against UTG, call in our call forward range, but mostly we will have hands like a queens plus ace king, and he's gonna three bet this player with nines plus, and he's gonna call four bet with all of these nines, tens, jacks, eights. So definitely not great spot. I'm gonna be checking ace queen suited actually. I'm gonna be checking it behind. And I will be checking a lot of aces here, even kings. I just think, let's see, also his call of the 4 bet. Against the call, against the called 4-bet as a 3-better. He called aces. That has sense. He's now betting small. We're just mainly gonna call or always gonna call. Now we're actually hoping that he has it. We are blocking aces. We're gonna have aces also here quite frequently in check behind range there. We used only 2x size in our call 4, so he's gonna always have 9s, 10s, jacks in the range, always. And he's now jamming king, queen. He has the nuts on the flop. Insane hand. But you see, like, this board is like crushing his range, and it's not that great for our range because actually in this position we shouldn't be having 9s and 10s. Even jacks are questionable. So king queen suited, he's gonna always have it. We're gonna have it occasionally. He did 3-bet UTG. UTG is a weaker player, but he still did 3-bet the UTG, so we have to respect that. Even the weaker player is loose, so he will maybe be wider, but still. We're gonna go bigger against him. Let's see. He folds only 25%. His calling range till now, okay, it was pair heavy, so we don't see floats. He called on the turn. Basically, the turn he called 9s again on the ace XX board. We're gonna be betting turn. We can also be over betting maybe. 2040. I'm gonna go still like this. We can just jam the river. We are taking hands like a 4-5, like a pocket 5-6s. We want to be folding out these hands on the river if he calls the turn. So that is our goal. When I will be streaming, if you join and if the we have a nice uh, number of people, we can go like 8 hours without problems. I had a couple of streams like 8 hours, and they were like always fun. So we're also making giveaways uh, on a stream. If you're a member of my Discord, uh, if we arrange a giveaway, I just give you like 15% of the winnings from the session. And usually on the stream, I'm also playing really good always because I'm like really focused. And on a stream, my results when we were just streaming were like even better than my normal results. So definitely, uh, here we can go an overbet here. We can go an overbet. We can go an overbet. We can go a big bet. He should be distributing tens and jacks. This looks familiar. This looks really familiar. I hope he doesn't have pocket deuces here. He had pocket fours in a similar spot where we had an ace king. He folds now, which is good. That was that guy, right? Quads, yes, that was he. We're gonna call here, we're gonna bet small. We are betting basically ace jack for value here in this spot. We're gonna bet flop, we're gonna check the turn and check the river. And here we're gonna be 3-betting ace queen suited. This is against the cutoff. He called it 3-bet with aces. Usually people don't do it. We're gonna go 2.2 against a shorter stack. I'm gonna try also to put microphone a little closer. I forget about it, but maybe that's the reason why the sound knows to be lower. Five six, we're gonna be calling. Let's start with the step with the 5-6. I think this deep he'll probably we're gonna be betting. He's still gonna have a lot of hands like he's gonna have a lot of hands like an eights, nines, tens that can call a bet on the turn, and we are basically semi bluffing here. So nice spot for us. We have a call on the turn, even against a smaller size. Let's see after check how much the guy folds a river, and he's not folding really much. Let's go with an overbet 70.8. Let's go with the call forbet with this size. I really, I don't know what his size looks like when going from 2 to 3. Not sure. We're gonna be checking the turn behind. When we bet bigger, we're gonna have a lot of over pairs like jacks, like tens, like queens, like kings. Um, so yeah, I would probably go with the bet check bet. I'm gonna go with the check on the river. Jack 8 suited, okay. Just a bunch of just a bunch of random stuff. This guy when raises river, he didn't ever bluff in his life in this line. Um, he's pretty much saying he has an ace, and he's not like rapping, I don't know, pocket trees. He's saying he has ace that check behind the flop that doesn't have a lot of sense actually. It just doesn't have a lot of sense. Here we have a clear check on the river with ace high, beating all the draws We want to be bluffing with, I mean, yeah, but I'm not sure, like, we're gonna block basically many ace highs. Basically, most of my size on the river will be block or overbet, and I'm gonna overbet rarely, and most will be just block. So I will have like most of the ace x into the block range. Basically, every ace x except ace deuce will gonna go into the block, and ace deuce will also sometimes go into block, but rarely. So when I think, yep, just the problem is that guy. He's really tight against us. So, and in that line where I'm blocking so many ace x hands, I just don't think he will bluff or bluff raise something. Block on the river here. His 10x hands should be double barreling frequently, like all the king 10. Okay, ace 10 has sense, but all of these like 9 10 jack 10 queen king 10. What is this? Like, this is some kind of bluff for sure. But we're top set, we just want to be calling and give him opportunity to do something on the river, because it doesn't have any sense. He's donking the turn here. Does he play jack like this? I'm just gonna go 1/3. I feel like it's a bluff, so I'm just gonna use this size to try to induce something, because I don't see like any sense what he can have for value. I don't see a hand. Queen jack played like this, limped, and I just feel like if I jam that he's gonna fold still, because I don't see like any, just jack deuce is the only hand that he can have. And I don't see that he plays it as a check on the river. I just feel like this is a bluff 100% of the time. Yeah, I like that river induce at least. I don't think he's in a fold mindset, so I just go 6x. I'm gonna be check jamming. His stab is 80%. So everything he has, and if he has any pair, any piece of the board, he's just gonna be stabbing. So I'm gonna be check jamming. He called even this. Just based on the situation, I think he is gonna be unfold happy. Let's see what happened. I didn't see it. Okay, nothing. Anarchy double barrel then fold. Okay. Let's see on table number 4. Ace 8 with the jack 10. Okay, let's see. 3 bet 4x with the jack 10 off, c bet the flop, bet the turn and check the river. Okay. This guy is probably also a weaker player based how he played the hand, which hands he used, everything seems as a weaker player. We check raise queens against 50% of range. We get like a really bad turn, but I don't see also many. Maybe he can call like gut shot, raise with every gut shot, but he's gonna have like ace 8 off. He's stabbing only 90%. I don't think he's like stabbing ace 8 off actually. Against this aggression, this aggression, I will be folding. Yes, he has a perfect spot. He can just. We're gonna have some 8x. It's still. We're gonna have some 7-8 suited. We're gonna have some pocket eights. We're gonna check raise some ace 8 of hearts. So we're gonna have some 8x. But generally, yeah, tough spot. But I feel like this type of player, like 38, 18, I think this is a classic block on the river spot. 38, 18 with the aggression of 21 would gladly go to the showdown if he had a hand uh, like a clubs, like a jack 10 of clubs. He would just gladly go to a showdown. I think that's usually what these type of players are doing. They're just gonna be chopping the pot and they will be happy with it. This guy is not the profile of the player. He's gonna just see, okay, I'm just gonna be jamming and trying to fold him out of the split. That a good aggressive player would be doing. But yep, when we don't know, we just have to play our experience and what we we notice, what we experienced in these situations. Let's see what happened there with how they played the hand. Check check on the flop, called, block raised. This guy called. Okay. It seems like the pots are playing, the chips are going into the money is going into the pot. Chips flying, you know. The tables are really action heavy, I must say. A lot of, you see, like, you have a call with a queen 10, multi-way call, not folding top middle pair, limp 3 bet here. I mean, based on his size, it can mean anything basically. And he didn't tribet ever. We're gonna see. Here we're gonna go with the delay. I'm gonna be checking behind and calling the river. I just want to see what he has. Let's go again with the small bet. And he actually did have a hand. He actually did have a hand. I mean, when player like 3688 goes into the limp 3 bet, they will usually. I was just thinking, okay, he lost all in against us, but when he used this like stupid size, they often have a hand. And the SPR will be small, so we will have a room to see, to test him, to see what he has. And like it actually turns out good for us. Let's see how much he falls to squeeze as caller calls a bunch. Gonna go bigger size when we have this type of player. Usually my size is usually my size is 12.5, but when you have player like this, I'm gonna go really big. He shouldn't be ever donking the flop. We have enormous range advantage. He shouldn't be ever doing it. So definitely, yep. Big raise is a play, and we're gonna go pot on the river or near pot. Pot or near pot. Crazy tables today. This is something I didn't see for a long time. Structure of the tables are insane. I don't think that if you would go to NL like 20 on stars now, that you wouldn't find the softer tables than the one we have here. Because the regs are bad, the weak players are like the like the biggest whales, and I think we're losing. So yep, good day, good back into the groove after a couple days of rest. It's always nice start to like this. I usually start like losing 10 buy-ins. That's like my always when I took a few days rest, the first session, if it's less than 10 buy-ins, I'm happy. So I don't know how we are now. I think we're losing like maybe 3 by feeling, I say. Uh, if it's like that, I'm happy. All below 10 is acceptable. Always like that when I just basically if I don't play 2 days, the third day you know it's always like that. I just need to be playing every day to feel the best. Even today I actually feel really good. Actually I feel like I played yesterday. I mean, so but it's just usually my sessions after breaks are like terrible. It can be worse than that. Double betting the turn. I actually feel now that he did catch a jack, and I'm just gonna be jamming it in. But I feel by the size that he actually did spike it up. Or he has a good all 8 ace 8. And he gets there. You see what I told you? This guy's using a strategy which is ridiculous. Let me see deep how much he three bets. I want to know. And we're just gonna be folding easily. I'm not gonna turn into forward bluff. That has sense. This hand has sense to be turning it into forward bluff. We're not gonna do it because in a deep pop up, he is three betting button versus early. He didn't three bet us ever. This is his first time that he did three bet, and generally his three bet stats are really low. So yeah, we are gonna be we are gonna be folding. We're gonna go 1/3 on the ace deuce jack. So yep. Against 4x we don't have 4x we don't have a call range. And the guy is actually basically I think afraid of playing post. He just want to get spots pre. I don't understand the strategy at all, and I don't understand how he can just implement it against regs because max exploit is like pretty simple against him. Against him, you're gonna go 4 bet like nines plus. You're gonna 4 bet ace queen off. You're gonna 4 bet ace queen off plus. You're gonna 4 bet king 10, king jack suited, king queen suited, ace 5 suited, and yeah, nines plus, and you're gonna be just fine. You have a nice range that is actually really decent. You do well against his call of the 4 bet range, and yeah, it's basically the best. I mean, it's really easy to play against. This strategy is good when you're that he's using when he plays whales and big fishes, and that strategy is actually not that bad. I don't use it even then, but then it's actually not that bad because people will put a lot money with the hands that shouldn't be there, and your range will be stronger, and yep, everything goes your way in this situation. But here, I think it's when you play against a reg. I mean, all of these guys at least have pre-flop ranges that are GTO or near GTO, but and it's like insane to me how he gets paid. This guy is so weak. Look at his aggressions. 30 on the river. I mean, I would fold against him on the flop. I think it's a better check raise. I mean, you can check call sometimes, but this guy steps really like narrow range and value heavy range. I would actually go with check raise on the flop or bet big on the flop. And now he goes. He didn't donk the turn, for example, which is classic donk spot. And now he goes with the big bet. And this guy has nines always. He knows that this guy is betting ace x. He's bluffing. Never in his life he's not gonna bluff here. I don't think he also knows what type of hands he should be bluffing there. So yep, I mean, and he has 700 blinds. We go 6.7. Let's see how this guy reacts to 3 bet. He called rarely. To this size, he should be calling all pocket pairs. Our queens are calling always. His forward bluff should be probably most of the ace queen off hands. He has like ace jack, ace 10 suited are also there, king queen suited. Um, we call the flop. King queen suited, king jack suited, ace 5 suited. So he's gonna be having a bunch of the ace x hands. Actually, maybe we can even fold to 1/4 on the flop. Think maybe we can even fold on the flop. I think we could have folded on the flop. Queens without diamond, even if it was 1/4, I think size, if I remember correctly. Yeah, but I think we can fold the flop. Yeah, 1/4. Think this is mistake for sure. I made couple of them, but not that much, which is good for my playing after pause. The bad stuff is that I did play this month because of the scoop. I played like 14 to 16 hours a day, and I felt I was like in the best shape ever that I ever been. And when you make that pause, like it kills basically everything, kills the momentum, and we're gonna bet big on this like 4 9 10, and we're gonna go delay here with the 2/3. I think we're now polarized on the turn a little bit. We're gonna be checking the flop with the aces and kings pretty often. I think even some sets are checking behind. We don't have a lot of 5x hands. We're not gonna be bet pretty often. Turn, delayed. And the size, when I think about it, on the flop we're gonna bet a lot of hands like a jacks and queens and tens. So we are stuck with aces that can probably double check again. You're not afraid to give some some free cards like queen, king that he can actually hit that top pair. So actually the hands that we want to be now betting are hands that sometimes the set that we check behind, some flush draws that we check behind, some that doesn't have showdown value, some um, ace highs that check behind. So having that fives, pocket kings, I don't see like a value there. The remix two sizes like like 1/3 and the 2/3. I just feel based on the range that we can just have one size. So yep. I also decided to mix a lot on my channel, a lot of things. I did also that review of the session, so all of you who are also interested in something like that for free, join my Discord. I would be doing it like once a month, um, when I have the time just to do it, because I think that people like this kind of stuff. You can also learn from it, and when uh, somebody goes through your session and tells you the things he saw and some of your mistakes, I think you get that other point of view, which is always great to have, and it's always super useful. So yep, just I think we want to raise here actually. We have some deuce X hands also there, so I think we want to be raising with the ace 9. Deuce 4 queen. I'm gonna bet 1/3. He shouldn't be having pocket deuces. He probably shouldn't be having even pocket fours. We are deeper, so maybe he has them. Let's see, call 3 bet in position deep. We don't have that sample to know. He should be having all of the pocket queens, most of them in a call range, pocket jacks all, tens. I think our hand is now check and basically a give up. What range bets we 1/3? We have pocket tens, pocket nines plus. I think we have block on the river actually here, and he gonna have some ace kings. Ace queens should be bet. Ace jack of spades should be also. Um, Ace jack of spades should be stabbing the turn. Ace king should be also mixing a bet on the turn and bet on the turn and check, but quite often betting also. So I feel like he's gonna have like a lot of tens and jacks here, and our block bet is, I would say, really good, especially with our hand. He's not saying he has a flush, um, or pocket sixes with the diamond. Basically, he says that we're gonna have plenty of hands here. We're gonna have some sixes here, hands like 5 6, and basically a6 I would always double barrel blocking ace queen. I think it's crucial. So a6 I would always double barrel. 5 6, sometimes I would check, sometimes I would bet, sometimes I would also check raise as a bluff. So all of that are mixed. I'm just wanting to know how much actually 6x hands I'm gonna have. Basically only like 5 6, especially if I three bet king 6 suited some portion of the time. King 6 suited blocking king queen, I think it's clear double barrel here. So I don't have that much 6x hands. I have a bunch of ace x hands actually. Um, it's true also that I double barrel a lot of ace kings for sure, blocking ace queen and king queen, and it feels like it's really good bluff with the ace king here. So I like ace jack off that is sometimes also in a range. Basically, so we will have sometimes ace jack. But when he raises here, he actually says he's gonna have a flush. So I'm just thinking, do we sometimes have an ace king there? I don't think so actually. So like ace five, ace five. I would also I like ace five, some like ace jack that I would just give up. We're just jamming here with ace jack. He just called and he go with the back raise. It feels like I mean that is probably hand. He only calls on a small line, and now he's going with the back raise, and we are like four-handed here. And when he calls, I just feel like ace jack is a clear jam. Just to get back to that hand, we have basically a few 6x hands, some ace x, and when he raises, we actually needs to be defending all of the 6x hands that we're gonna have. And I would just block bet my range, I think, in this situation. And when you just think about it, yeah, I really need to call also some ace x hands, and it's best to call if we have a diamond. We're gonna go over bet here on turn. Definitely, when you think about our range, um, when we face a raise, it's hard. We are tested in a big way. So definitely we need to call all of the 6x hands because we're not gonna have it near often enough, and we're gonna have to call a lot of also ace-x hands. We didn't have anything basically, but so it's not that important. But yeah, just if we are thinking about the hands, and we should be thinking always about our range when we gonna be next in this type of the spot. What we want to do here? We don't want to be over betting here and turning some pocket threes, pocket fours into bluff. Or we want to be blocking the river. I think check actually is. I don't think we can just block hand like ace king on the river.